Welcome back. Melanoma is a type of cancer that develops from pigment-containing cells, most commonly from the skin. If diagnosed early, many patients can be cured with surgery. However, if melanoma spreads through the body, the prognosis for long-term survival is poor. A new way of treating advanced melanoma allows a patient's immune system to fight the tumor without the need for chemotherapy or radiation. In a new study, researchers examined the response to this type of therapy.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
When Tom Stutz was diagnosed with melanoma about 5 years ago, it had spread to several of his organs.
I was whipped, to be honest with you. And I thought that was pretty much the end of the line for me.
Tom enrolled in a clinical trial receiving a new type of immunotherapy called pembrolizumab, an antibody that blocks a protein called PD-1. These proteins prevent the body's immune system from attacking the cancer.
With pembrolizumab, what we're trying to do is to redirect that immune response to fight the cancer. Pembrolizumab binds to PD-1, and then the immune system cells attack the cancer.
Dr. Antoni Ribas from the University of California, Los Angeles, and co-authors tested this drug on more than 650 patients. The trial was conducted at UCLA and other sites in North America, Europe, and Australia. Early in the study, several patients showed a clinical response to pembrolizumab, which later received breakthrough therapy status from the Food and Drug Administration.
When we compared the baseline tumors to the tumors after dosing, the metastases or the lesions around the body were smaller in 1/3 of the patients. The patients who responded, the great majority continued to respond at 1 or 2 years. 75% of them maintained the response.
The drug was well tolerated in the majority of patients.
The median survival of the 655 patients was 23 months, which by all practical means is much better than we would have expected in a group of patients like this. With this new generation of immunotherapies, we're now having a sizable number of patients who have a response to the therapy and are going on to live normal lives 3 or 4 years later.
That's exactly what happened for Tom, who continues to receive the therapy.
I've been to family events, I've gone on vacations with my kids. I'm feeling great. So what can I say? No complaints.
Catherine Dolf, The JAMA Report.
4% of patients had to stop the therapy because of side effects. Fire Chief Scott Lewis reports on a structure fire that occurred on Basin Avenue Friday afternoon.
We were dispatched to the area of 3600 block of West Basin for a structure fire. Upon arrival, we found a double-wide manufactured dwelling. We found evidence of fire scorching the exterior wall. Further investigation revealed that the fire was actually underneath the structure. The high winds allowed that fire or pushed that fire from an exterior fire under the structure and was running along the insulation on the length of the structure itself.
Was this accidental or intentional? Do you know?
No, it appears to be an accidental fire, most likely through improperly discarding of smoking materials on the outside of the house in that area. We believe that the winds kicked up, turned it to open flame, which then took some of the material stored on the porch, set that afire, going up the exterior wall and then under the structure via the wind.
How much damage to the structure is there?
Actually, the crews did a great job and held the fire damage to a minimal extent. We just pulled the access panel from the structure, went in, pulled some of the insulation down and away, and extinguished it.
Is it still livable, that home?
Yeah, absolutely. The power had been shut off by the residents prior to our arrival. All they had to do is re-energize and they could reside within the structure.
Let's talk about discarding smoking material.
Yeah, be extremely careful. We've run into several calls recently, not only involving structures, but brush fires running alongside the roadways. And our investigation is revealing that a number of times we're seeing improperly smoking or discarded smoking materials in those immediate areas. So we can't rule that out as a probable ignition source.
The High Desert Chorale held their annual spring concert recently at the Pahrump Nugget.
Nobody knows it. But right from the start, I gave you my heart. Oh, I gave you my heart.
Relive the 50s and 60s with the High Desert Chorale. It was really fun. It was a wonderful concert we had. It was very upbeat, and I think there were as many people in the audience singing as there were singing in the choir, so it was fun. It was
I
great.
think so. The Prump Nugget parking lot was packed.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And this room was packed. How many people do you think was here?
I think we probably had about 150 here, so that was nice. Yeah, they're tearing down in the background.
There you go. So the High Desert Chorale, this is their spring concert. They decided to switch it up a little bit with the 50s and 60s.
Yes, they did. So, and Andy's really good. Andy Barnum is the director, and he's been doing this for at least 10 or 12 years. I've kind of lost count now, but it's just a nice time. But they always do a Christmas concert and then one in the spring, and it's very successful.
He does a great job. And this is all part of the Prump Arts Council, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a Prump Arts Council, and we do have a number of other groups that are affiliated with us. They're taking down the risers in the back. That's the hard part. That is the hard part. So singing is not easy, but it takes a little more practice.
Exactly. He has a pretty good group going on right now, too, as far as the choir is concerned.
Yes, there are probably, I think there are about 25 in the choir, and it's a pretty steady group. There are people, some come and some go, but it's generally been the same crowd for the last several years now, so which is nice.
16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
The Prump Arts Council is having their annual meeting tonight beginning at 5 p.m. at the Bob Roode Community Center, and the public is invited to come on down. Here's Susan Holecheck from Nathan Adelson Hospice to tell us about their senior health fair.
This is the Senior Resource Carnival. People started coming in even before 10. I'm not sure what it is. It may be the gift baskets or the free hot dogs or the free Danish, but in any event, it's wonderful. We've got 36 vendors and people are having a good time.
How many years have you guys been holding this?
This is my first time, but I believe it's our 5th.
And so Nathan Adelson Hospice puts this on. I know that Assemblyman James Oscarson is sponsoring the hot dogs.
He is. He said, I'm happy to do it, and so we're grateful, but we also get the cooperation of Saddle West. They have just been so good to us in the last few years. They provide the waters and pop and all of that, so a great business partner.
A whole bunch of vendors here.
Oh my, 36. And they really vary from hearing to law firms to home health to senior services. There's just a variety of tables here.
Are you finding that people are more interested in finding what there is out there because they might have so many options? They really need to get the information?
I really do. I think you hit it right on the head. I think sometimes because we're so spread out and maybe we drive a certain way to go wherever we go, we don't realize all the services that are here. And I think sometimes we think we have to go to Las Vegas, and it's really not the case at all.
So Nathan Adelson Hospice, what a successful event. How many people do you think have went through so far?
Well, it's interesting because we give them free raffle tickets for these beautiful baskets, and I think there's like 2,000 on a roll, and we probably, I can't even tell you how many hundreds we've gone through.
Really?
Yeah, so it is good.
What's coming up next for you guys?
And our next big one is the butterfly release on May 1st.
All right. So, and that's at what time?
And the butterfly release is at 2 o'clock. You caught me off guard. I'm pretty sure it's at 2. It's at the Nye County, the beautiful park in front of the Commissioner's building.
In Calvada?
In Calvada. They can contact me if they want to buy a butterfly.
What's your phone number?
775-291-0541.
More local news, including sports, when we return.